Hi guys, you are welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be solving another question, and this is the question that we are going to be solving. I use marker to write down the question. However, this particular question is also a past question. Uh, uh, Before we start, I want us to read the question. The question goes thus: a research farm was surveyed and described as follows. Now, please, I want you to pay attention. At point A to B, the length was 20 kilometer. Now, let me start by noting my parameters. The first parameter was the length of A to B. This is the first parameter, which is what? 20 kilometer. Let me start my noting. Let me denote it with this. A to B. Then a perpendicular line was drawn from point B to C, measuring the same value with line A and B. Now, I will like to ask you, what is a perpendicular line? A perpendicular line is a line that is drawn from a point that makes a right angle with another line. That is what is known as a perpendicular line. That's what is known as a perpendicular line. Any line that is drawn from a point that makes an right angle with another line, that is what is called a perpendicular line. Now, let's continue. You've known what a perpendicular line is. So, line C today was parallel and equal to line A and B. What's a parallel line? A parallel line are lines that can never meet. When they said a line is parallel to another, that is, both lines are traveling on a straight line and both can never meet. That is what is called a parallel line. So let's continue. Line C to D was parallel and equal to line AB, and line DA shared the same length with line BC. Now, I've already taken one note, which is what 20 kilometers. A point at the middle of line B was extended to M. Two lines each measuring 8 kilometers. Now I have another parameter here, which is what? 8 kilometers. So let me also put something to denote that. I have another point here, which is what? 8 kilometers. So I have two things now. I have one 20 kilometers and another one I have 8 kilometers. Let's continue. Two lines each measuring 8 kilometers were drawn from point B and C respectively, forming a vertex with point M. Now, that's not where the question is saying. The question now says that the question says we should interpret and present the above as a map. That is, all the words, all the things that they gave us there, we have to interpret it and present as a map. Then question 2 says find the area of the map. Question 3, if the entire farmland is used for cultivation of maize, give the plant population obtained. Then question 4 says if 5/9 of the plot were damaged by cattle, what is the quantity of the undamaged maize? And they put something here. Note, the seed was sown at 2 seeds per hole. Now, please, I want you to pay attention. I want to pay attention, and I will solve this question step by step. So I want to pay attention and follow me carefully. So don't forget our question number one. Our question number one says we should what? Interpret and present the above as a map. Now, that's the first question. So here is the statement. Here is the question again. Now, let me start. A research farm was surveyed and described as follows. At point A, B, the length was 20 kilometers. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is to draw out my line 20 kilometers. That is from point A to point B. The length of that line is 20. So I'm going to be having from point A, I have my ruler here. From point A to B, let me call this A. From point A to B, I have it here, from point A to B. Let me call this A. Point A, let me call this point B. From point A to B, that is what? 20 kilometer. Yeah, that's the first statement that I had there. That's the first statement I had there. So the second thing that the question told us is also that after point A to B, then they say that a perpendicular line was drawn from point B to C, measuring the same value with line AB. Don't forget what I told you. Don't forget what I told you about a perpendicular line. A perpendicular line, a line that is drawn from a point that makes a right angle with the other line. So they say that the line was drawn from point B to C, and the line measured the same length with A and A to B. So definitely I'm going to be having another 20 kilometer that is drawn from what? From this point B. So I will have another 20 kilometer here. This I want to follow carefully. I will have another 20 kilometer from point B to C. Let me call this my C. Okay. Let me call this. The line is kind of, let me put small. So I have that. This is what? A, B. Then this is what? B, what? C. Let me call this point C. So I have A, B, C. And they told me that the question says AB is equals to BC. So I have what? This one is also what? 20 kilometer. Let me put it here. 20 kilometer. It's also 20 kilometers. So now let's proceed. Please, I want you to follow me carefully so I don't want to make any mistake. Let's proceed. Now we stop at here. Don't forget. Line CD was parallel and equal to line AB. Have you seen that? Don't forget what I call the parallel line. A parallel line, two lines are said to be parallel if the two lines are drawn on a straight line and cannot meet each other. So they say that the line CD is parallel to what? Line AB. Line CD is parallel and equal to line AB. So I'm going to be having another line from this place to this place of equal length, which is what? 20 kilometers. So I'm going to be having like from this place equal length. Don't forget. So I have, this is my C, I have my A, my B, my C, then my D will be here. So I have A, B, C, and D. So, and the question says that they are of equal length. It is parallel. If you look at this line proceeds like this. It also proceeds like this. This one also proceeds like this. It also proceeds like this. So this line is moving like this. This line is also moving like this. Either this line is travel like this or it's travel like this. It can never meet this line. So they are both what? Parallel line. So let's proceed. Let me put my 20 kilometer here. Now, the next statement, back to our question. The next statement said, and line DA shared the same length with line BC. Yeah. Line DA. This is DA. This is the line that they are talking about. That is, I will have to draw another line from D to A. And the question said they shared the same length with what? Line BC. Therefore, this line will also be what? 20 kilometer. Let me put this. Let me put an arrow. So that's it. This line will also be what? 20 kilometers. Now, if you look at this shape represents which type of shape? This is a square shape if you look at it. So let's proceed with our question. Back to our question. We stop at here. They now said at point a point at the middle of line B to C. A point at the middle of line B to C. A point at the middle of line B to C was extended to M. Please, I want to take note of that statement. A point at the middle, not just any point. A point at the middle. Take note of this. Okay, a point at the middle of line B to C was extended to M. Now, if I want to interpret that, I know that this is my B and this is my C. So, a point at the middle of line B to C, it will be like the middle of the line is extended to M. So, I will have something like from this point to this point. Let me call this point M. Have you not seen? This is the middle of the line. Yeah. So a point at the middle of line B and C, this is the middle, is extended to M. So let's back to our question. We are not finished the question. So we stop at here. Extended to M. Two lines each measuring 8 kilometers were drawn from point B and C respectively, forming don't forget, forming a vertex with point M. What is a vertex? A vertex is any point at when two or more lines met, that particular point, the apex of that point is known as the vertex. So let us interpret that. They say that two lines measuring 8 kilometers each was drawn from point C and B to M. So I'm going to be having from B to M first. From B to M, I'm going to be having blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So from another point C to M, don't forget they call it two line. Yeah. So I have this. This is what 8 kilometers. Don't forget 8 kilometers. Then this also is what 8 kilometers. So this is the map that we are asked to interpret. This is the first question. We have done with the first question. If you look at this particular shape, it comprises of two shapes, which is what? The square and what? A triangle. Don't forget a square and a triangle. So the next question says we should find the area of the map. You should find the area of the map. How do you calculate the area of this map? It is very, very simple. The first thing to note is that since you know that this particular map contains what? Square and what? A rectangle, square and a triangle. The first thing to do is first calculate the area of this square, and the area of square is what? Length times length, which is what? 20 times 20. I will be demonstrating that. And another one, the area of a triangle. Now let's proceed with our calculation. So now let's proceed. The total area is equals to what? Area of the square plus what? Plus area of what? The triangle. That is the total area of the map. Area of the square plus the area of the triangle. Now, if you want to find the area of the square, let's begin with the area of the square. Area of the square. Let's begin with the area of square. If you want to find the area of the square, it's length times length. This length times length. So we are going to be having is equals to what? 20. Area of the square is equal to length times length, L square. That is what? L square. So you are going to be having 20 kilometers multiplied by what? 20 kilometers. 20 kilometers times 20 kilometers, that is what? 400 kilometers square. So that is